Guys, welcome back to the garden, to the channel, on another wet and rainy day here in my tropical style garden in Leicestershire, UK. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through propagating ferns by spores and show the initial sowing process step by step. The fern I'll be trying to propagate is my Dicksonia Antarctica tree fern, and although this method should work for other species of ferns as well. For the Dicksonia Antarctica, generally the plant will need to be at least 25 to 30 years old before it will be able to produce spore, while other species of fern can produce at a much younger age. Now, I've been recently noticing that my 4-foot has produced spores. Some of my other younger ones have not yet, but I did realize this one actually had, and they look ripe enough to harvest, which is typically towards the end of the year. Now, with the tree fern spores and other spores on different types of ferns, you will find that the kind of style and what they look like can be vastly different from, fern to fern, as you can see in these sort of pictures here. All different shapes and sizes and colors. But here is my Dicksonia Antarctica frond that I have grabbed, just a very small piece. Don't really need a lot. It has millions of spores in just a tiny piece like this. Just zoom in here so you can actually see the little spore heads or sporangi, and you can just see those there. That's what we are going to be trying to get the spores out of, and we'll just kind of show you that process as we do that. So here are the materials we'll be using today. You can see we've got our compost mix, we've got some empty envelopes, our pots, as well as some Ziploc bags. And what we'll do first is to take our fresh new frond, place it inside one of the paper envelopes. Fine paper is good for this, does help the frond to dry out and release. Going to keep this around about sort of 15 to 20 degrees C, anywhere sort of dark and warm will help. This one here in the white envelope, I had done this about 2 to 3 days ago now, and on the first day it did even start releasing. So I'll try and get in this to show you here. You can just see at the very bottom of the envelope that we do have a slight bit of spores showing. What I'll do is just get those out so you can actually see them in full. As you can see here, quite a bit more than expected. So on one side here, we've got the brown side. Now this is going to be your kind of casings, while the yellow is actually the spore. So the next step we want to do is to start to think about separating the casing, as this can be a contaminant when we are growing. We want to kind of reduce the amount of contaminants in there and try and sow only sort of spores if we can. And what we can do, so the the head is a little bit lighter than the actual spore, so if we kind of tap around the paper here, what we are able to do is easily separate the spore from the head. You can see now I've got that all removed, or as much as possible. We've just left with the spores, and if you gently tap that out, you'll get that, and you can see it all on the counter there on the side. But now what we do is we have our spores, which we're going to use for it, and plenty enough here for the pots that we're going to use. And you can see here we've chosen 6 pots. These are the 3-inch pots, and what we're going to be doing is putting our compost in. Now this is a peat and perlite only compost. You can use the eraceous mix, which I am going to be doing another experiment with now, but as I do have this peat here, I'm going to be using that for now. I'm going to fill it up just to that line, and as you can see here now, what we're going to do next is to press it down, just make sure it's kind of firm into there, and I still have half a bag left, which would be great for other plants and carnivorous plants. This particular mix is great for that. Again, what we're going to do next is to sterilize this, and the way we're going to be doing this is to pour boiling hot water from the kettle directly into these pots. As you can see here, we want to soak the soil completely through with the boiling water. You may need to do this a couple times just to get it fully soaked through, and of course be careful with the boiling water. You can see I've put it onto the kitchen side, so it will drain straight back into the sink. Now what we're doing is placing these inside of the plastic bags, and what we'll do is just seal that up and let them cool down for at least another hour. It can take up to half a day to let these cool down. You want to make sure they are back down to room temperature before you do plan to sow. These have cooled down finally now, and we are just going to start the sowing process. You can just see here we've got the bags once again back on the side just for any drip or waste. We've got our spores in our little paper packet, and what we're next going to do is to open this back up again. And again, I close this up just so it doesn't get blown away or anything like that. Again, these are typically going to be airborne in nature. So what we're going to do next is gently tap down and make a thin light dusting over the top of the compost, as you can see here. And what we're trying to do is just get a nice even layer if we can. Now of course you can use things like a sort of paintbrush or things like that to dab it and then sort of spread it over the top. Now you don't want to go too thick where you're seeing loads of yellow. Again, spores are very, very fine, and once again can spread very, very easily. And what we want to do is place these straight back into the bag as soon as possible, not allowing as many contaminants from outside in. Again, we want to keep this area sterile as possible, avoiding things like mold and things like that. Next, I'll then look to label these. I'll put the species as well as the date these were sown, just so I have an idea of kind of how they're progressing in comparison to others if we do decide to sow other species that we have in the garden. But for now, what we'll do is then seal that up, and next we're going to move that over to a windowsill or somewhere in indirect light, and we'll keep this sealed and let this sit now for anywhere between 3 months up to a year before we might see the next stages, which are going to form a green little sort of carpet on the top of the pots. You just see here I'm finishing off the remainders here, but of course just want to say thank you to Andrew, who helped me out a lot with this video. You can just see I still do have a little bit of spore left over, and I'll just show you now kind of what we are looking for in the next stage. Now we'll be looking to put out a part 2 of this when we get to this stage. We'll kind of go through the process and how it's all gone. But of course, if this has been helpful, certainly feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, certainly feel free to do so. They'll be in the comment section below. I'll also ensure to put a link to all of the products I've been using in the comment section below as well. But of course, in the meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.